I'm gonna make a beautiful English onion soup. None of this French onion soup malarkey. We're gonna go English soup. So I've got red onions, white onions, the little sort of Italian sort of banana and cipollini type ones. Slice them up. Quicker the better, really, otherwise you end up getting into tears. I've never done a recipe crying before. Onion soup, but with a little bit of help from some of the other alliums. With the leeks, I'm tempted hardly even to chop the garlic up, just to squash it. Get your pan, add some oil, nice lug of oil, a little bit of butter. First thing that I want to touch this pan is some sage, and then I want to put in the garlic. That's a nice start. And then we bring in our onions into there, mix that up. Always cook onions with a good pinch of salt and pepper. That is fantastic. And I'm going to turn this down to a medium. So 25 minutes, just leave that to cook now. Right, have a look at this. You can see how those onions have sort of shrunk in size. And to make this into a soup, we need stock now. Chicken stock is brilliant. It's about 4 pints of stock to a kilo of onions, garlic and leek. Simmer that for about sort of 10-15 minutes. While that's cooking, I'm going to get my bread and I want to cut that in half. Just get yourself a grater and grate a whole load of cheese. Bring this over here to get a nice mixture of sort of stock and onions, and then straight into that bowl. So I've got my soups done. I want to get my little toasties and just ram them in like that. Worcestershire sauce. Just a swig. I don't want this to ruin or wreck or overtake, but just a few little dribbles. Sage leaves here, and there you go. From here, under a grill, and let it all melt. And it literally only takes a minute. Ho ho ho! Look at that. That is a proper English onion soup. Beautiful. That is the real deal. That is English onion soup. Look at that.
Making up for losing so much time in my world.
I've got these beautiful little baby leeks that I've just parboiled for 5 minutes. So the first thing I'm going to do is rub the olive oil over the leeks, a little pinch of salt. What I'm going to do is just lay it here across my char grill like this. I've got my fennel here, and I just want to shave little bits as thin as I can through the stalk. These go on dry, so they go straight on. We've got these fantastic radicchio, treviso, and I'm going to put these also on dry. I want to wilt this, and it will take on the smell of that smokiness. Now, I'm going to make a warm dressing, and I've got chorizo. I'm going to slice this up here. I'll get my pan out, olive oil, and I'll put the chorizo in there. So I'll put that back under here. The individual leaves you can take off straight away. Then I take my lovely warm baby leeks. Bit of rosemary in there. Got 2 cloves of raw garlic. Just grate them on a grater. And here, at this point, this is when it all gets fun. Balsamic vinegar, and then a little bit of lemon juice. I'm serving this with squid. You get your knife, you put it inside the squid like this, then get another knife and slice through to the other knife. Then you're going to get a whole concertina effect. Mix my bits and pieces here, drizzle it with some olive oil, get a whole handful of those fennel tops, just slice it through like that. Salt, pepper, and then literally just dress it almost like a salad. I've got a preheated pan, bit of oil. Legs in first. And then we just lay our concertina squid, just whack it in the oven, quick and hot. I'm going to take the last of this fennel off. And this is where the fun happens. We get that wonderful, rich chorizo and garlic dressing. Use the hands, just dress it. So I got my squid. Look at that. It's the kind of thing I want to get on a nice little board, and then a lovely pile of your grilled and marinated veggies. Just there, half a lemon. Just get a few fennel tops, rip them over the top, just to put a bit of fresh with the sort of robust and the grilled. And that is a flipping brilliant dish.
Hi, it's Jules here. Today I'm going to make a really nice, chunky, I'm not going to say winter because it can be used at any season, really nice hearty warm vegetable bean soup, which actually I do for my children every week, or not necessarily this one, but I kind of vary up the soups weekly, and my husband loves it, thank God. It's such a good soup. I've got 2 leeks, they look like 4, but they've been cut into 2, washed, and a good tip from Jamie, is what he told me to do, is to wash downwards so you get all the dirt out and use it like a bit like a little river. So this will probably feed about 4 to 6, so just chop. You can do smaller if you prefer, but my children quite like a bit of chunk, so we're not really smooth soup family, so I have to do it like this. 2 sticks of celery, washed. 3 carrots, which I'm just going to chop. And 2 cloves of garlic, thinly sliced. You could always use a garlic crusher if you fancy. So that's all my veg done. So I'm just going to do some bacon. I've got just 2 rashers. Just chop that. You don't have to use bacon, but it does add a really nice flavour. And if you were doing this for a baby, obviously you wouldn't be doing the seasoning and you wouldn't use the bacon. So you can just take that out and just have a really nice vegetable soup and then blend it. So now I'm going to start cooking. Just put my really mad oven on. A log of olive oil. First I'm going to do the bacon with some rosemary. Just a sprig of rosemary is all you need. It gets all the strong flavours going. So now I can hear the sizzle. That's when you know all the flavours are coming back the rosemary and they're all kind of intermingling together. You can smell it now, it's so delicious. So this should take about a couple of minutes, just so it goes nice and brown. Right, it's definitely brown and crispy, so I'm going to add all the veg. You know it's going to be great for the children, and it is one way of getting everything in all at once. And I always feel so good when I see they've eaten this. I feel like it's been a really healthy dinner. And just mix it around. You need to use about 10 to 15 minutes, just to make sure the leeks get really sweet, nice and soft and tender. I'm going to put the lid on, sweat them down, and leave it for 10 to 15 minutes to get on with all the jobs. So I reckon this is done. They look really nice, and they smell pretty good as well, so they're definitely ready. Now I'm going to add blotty beans, but you can actually use any canned beans you like. My children like these, so that's quite nice. Well, normally when I do this, they're normally ballet day or athletics day, so I really worry they've got enough energy to kind of do what they have to do. And those beans will definitely help that. So I'm going to add my stock. You can do chicken or veg, and I've got a litre of stock there. Also, to make it a bit quicker, I use the hot stock so it keeps everything going and boiling at the same time. Put it back to simmer for about half an hour. I reckon this is done now. Yeah, it looks nice and soft. I'm going to add a handful of frozen peas and then 2 handfuls of kale. The girls like kale, but you can do spinach or courgettes or anything that doesn't need a lot of cooking time, so it stays really nice, bright and green. So I'll just mix it in, put the lid on for a couple of minutes, and then prepare the bowls, and we're ready. And because actually this soup hasn't got really much carbohydrates in, so I sometimes add pasta or I've got some bread here, or you could even add potatoes, sweet potatoes, just to get that bit more chunkier feeling. I do especially for my children because if they've been busy at school, I think it's kind of quite healthy to do that. There you go, some nice hunks of bread, which they really like. So that's my carb. So you can see the leeks are sweated off. I can smell actually all the lovely smells of the bacon and the rosemary, and the fresh greens are giving it a really nice kind of fresh feel, and they're not too overcooked at all, so they'll be nice and crunchy still. And the stock's all reduced, so I'm just going to portion it up. So I've got one for Buds and one for myself because it's such a good soup, and it's really quick. Actually, I normally cook my soup the day before, but if you're going to do a good batch and freeze it, perhaps don't add the green vegetables like the kale or the courgette because it'll keep its vibrancy. If you defrost it, put it on the hob, then just the same as you did before, add the greens at the end, and then they're really fresh and lovely, and they kind of keep the crunch. There you go, guys. It's all done, my lovely, chunky, hearty soup. And please enjoy it. Well, I hope you enjoy it and give it a go, and I can't wait to hear what you think. Which bit do you want to try?
I'm going to show you how to make the most delicious, straightforward pasta bake with sweet leeks, tomatoes, basil, parmesan, and the most amazing garlicky crumb. We're going to do a big batch of it. You could either feed loads of people, or you could portion it off, put it in the fridge or the freezer for meals for another day, but also a hack of turning this, the everyday pre-bought garlic bread, into a thing of joy, the most amazing garlic bread crumb. So let's start off with that. First up, get yourself a liquidizer. We're going to use this for the crumb and for the sauce. So I'm going to cut this into half. Just rip up half your garlic bread into here, give it a little waz. So that simple little trick takes your beautiful garlic bread into a fine bread crumb. So let's do the second one. Really, really nice. So, we've got the lovely crumb here. I'll put that to one side. Let's get on with the pasta sauce. So we're going to start it off with some olive oil in a pan. A couple of tablespoons goes in. And then the beginning of the story is going to be some garlic. 2 cloves of garlic. We'll just slice this up like that. So, medium heat. Let's get that frying. I'll take a little bit of this basil now. I'll give you another little tip, actually. If you pick any herbs, especially if they look a little bit sad, put it in the water, they'll refresh and come back to life. And then these stalks here, you don't have to throw these away. Just finely slice them. They're still full of flavour. And we'll get them in with the garlic. Now let's talk about oregano. I've got the regular stuff here that you'll see. Just a little teaspoon I can put in my hand and then put into the oil like that. Then here, I've got some posh oregano. It's not really posh. It looks posh. It's just unprocessed. I always think it's quite nice to get this, if you can, a little bit more fragrant. So you can see it's just gently frying. It smells really fragrant. I've taken it off the heat because I don't want to burn the garlic. Really important to not burn garlic. So look, we've got the leek. So what I tend to do to clean it is just take the end off there, run my knife just down the leek like this, pull off that outside leaf, and then I'm going to kind of treat it like it's almost 2 different vegetables. So I'll simply cut this in half. I'll save this green part for a soup or a stew that I'm going to do this week. Really, really nice. Nothing will go to waste. And this lovely white part here, I'm going to put into this pasta dish. Now, when leeks grow, they always come out the ground, obviously, and they pick up a little bit of mud, dirt, grit, stuff like that. So let me show you. This is the stalk end. And what I'm going to do is cut it in half lengthwise, like that. And then what you want to do is wash it under the tap away from the stalk. Just a quick little wash. Also, what's nice about giving it a quick little wash is that excess little bit of water creates a little steam that then creates a little more sort of sweetness and softness. So in we go with the leek. I'll give it a little season with salt and pepper, just to start the seasoning story. And that's going to be on a medium heat now. If you just kind of like slow cook that for 10 minutes, it really kind of concentrates the sweetness. It's utterly delicious. So while that does its thing, I'm going to put some pasta into my pan of water. So 500 grams of, frankly, any pasta you like. So when I'm cooking pasta for a pasta bake, I always undercook it. So the pack says 12 minutes, so I'm going to give this 8 minutes. Then I'll show you what to do next. So these leeks have had 10 minutes. The pasta's cooked, drained and refreshed. Now to carry this sauce is a really beautiful old friend, tomatoes. We're going to go in with 3 tins of beautiful tinned tomatoes, and then I'll clean these tins out with some water just to clean out the tin, use every last bit. Bring this to the boil, let it simmer for 15 minutes, and then you could serve the sauce chunky and rustic, but I'm going to liquidize it until it's silky smooth. So look, that's had sort of 10-15 minutes. Look at that, just blipping away. Have a little taste. Oh, gorgeous. This is your opportunity to adjust a little seasoning if you need it. If you want to make it a little hotter with black pepper, of course. If you wanted to hit it with chili, you can. I'm going to whiz it up now. I'm going to put most of it in there. So whiz it up. Whenever you're using hot things and liquidizers, put the lid on for sure and put a tea towel on top. I have decorated myself and the room so many times. Having a little look at it. If you want to put some herbs in here now, you can. If you want to put a little cheese in here now, you know, just a little bit, you can. Nice. I think having a liquidizer or a hand blender is a genuinely useful gadget. So in we go with the sauce. You can see the colour change now from the deep red to the almost orange. Sunshine, look at that. Just beautiful. Basically, we're done. We'll go in with the lovely pasta. Look at that. Have a little taste. Oh, delicious. I'm going to do a little layer of Parmesan, about 50 grams, just to kind of create a little kind of gooiness when you put your spoon into it. It's going to be delicious. Beautiful. And I'm actually going to hijack this a little bit with a nice little hack. It's a great vegetable that I love. It sits in the freezer. It's super convenient. Frozen spinach. Why would I use frozen spinach? It's super convenient. It comes in these little portion, sort of normally 80-gram pellets. Just going to take 8 of these pellets and put it in and around this pan like that. And I think that spinach works really well with these flavors. So look, beautiful colors. Very excited about that. I'm now just going to finish it with that beautiful garlic bread crumb. I'm going to take half of it and sprinkle a nice fat layer on top, right to the edges. And that will just cook up really, really nicely. What you can do with the rest of this is get like some of these little freezer bags, and I promise you this will be the handiest thing to have in the freezer. So the next time you roast a piece of fish, right, sprinkle that on top in the oven, crunchy, beautiful. You know, the next time you want to take an everyday salad and make it like exciting, just put that in a pan, get it golden, little golden sort of tiny croutons, crunch, deliciousness. So this is a brilliant thing to have. Next time you make a lasagna, sprinkle that on top. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And no waste. So this now goes in the oven for about 20 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. When it's golden, when it's blipping away, when it looks like you want to eat it, it's ready. While that's cooking, please click the like button and give us some love. And don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and remember to turn on that notification bell so you know what's happening. Now, back to the recipe. So I know it's ready because I can smell it. The room smells so good. Those amazing garlicky breadcrumbs. So here it is. The beautiful pasta bake. Look at that. It's just beautiful. Let it sit for a little bit. What I would normally do is just put some of these lovely basil leaves over the top. They're in really good condition now they've been in the water. Look at that. It smells incredible. Now for me, I always love having it with a lovely simple salad. So I've got a nice little salad here. I'll just finish that with a little olive oil, little squeeze of lemon juice, and that is an incredible lunch. That's an incredible dinner. Look at that. I just love it. Yes. So look, let's serve up. Let's get a nice piece of that spinach. Beautiful. Really lovely. Look at that. Little parmesan over the top. Right, let's have a little try. It's amazing colour. It's so good. That, my friends, is a brilliant principle recipe. Take that, run with it. Put it into your family. Honestly, they're gonna love it. So look, if you want more recipes from me, you know, more batch cooking recipes, more recipes that sort of hero veggies, simply go to jamieoliver.com and have a little search around. It's all free and I hope you enjoy it. You want pie, do you? Well, I've got a pie for you. We are gonna make roasted meat pie. You heard it, roasted meat pie. Not just boiled meat pie, roasted. Extra flavour, extra texture, and extra smiles. Come on! This pie is packed full of roasted succulent game birds to give you a special something this weekend. We have a chicken over here, but then we have mallard, we have pheasant, we have a beautiful grouse, we have partridge. The list goes on and on that you could use, but mix it up. We're going to dress them with olive oil, seasoning and crushed juniper berries before bashing up some thyme, rosemary and bay leaves for an aromatic herby hit. beautiful natural colours and flavours.
Then it's an hour in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit.
So while those birds roast away in the oven, let's start the story with the ragu. We're going to start off with some gorgeous smoked, dry-cured bacon. The flavour that you get, the smoke, the fat that will render out. A couple of bay leaves go in, maybe a little sprig of rosemary, and then we can start adding the veg.
This is a classic ragu base of juicy carrots, sweet red onions, leeks and celery.
You know, it's this frying and the breaking down of all the natural sugars. That's where the massive flavour is. That's where you're going to put something in your mouth and go, wow.
Once the veggies have softened, add some chunky potatoes and season. Oh yes.
Because the birds are going to be roasting for like another 45 minutes, let's let that slowly sweat off for 45 minutes. Oh my Lord, the flavour you will get by just slowing it down is amazing.
And it'll be so worth the wait.
What a beautiful, beautiful sight. Literally, just pull the whole thing apart. What you're going to feel is the difference in texture. For the people that have never eaten game before, this is your opportunity, guys, because you can have your chicken and just a few bits of game. And then if you like it, add a little bit more next time and a bit more next time. The grouse. And now we're on to the pheasant. Normally, if you're getting game birds in season, it's very reasonable.
All these bones will make a brilliant stock for another day.
There's just flavour and value everywhere. Don't throw nothing away. 2 tablespoons of plain flour go in. That's your thickening agent. And then in with about 500 millilitres of cider. Cheers to that.
Give it a stir and boost its flavour even more with good chicken stock and those incredible roasting juices from the tray.
Maximum flavour.
And all that delicious meat.
And that, my friends, is going to be the most mega stew ever.
So we'll strain it before it goes in to give you the perfect pie consistency, and then we've got loads of gravy for pouring later.
Pastry time! We're going to go half butter, half suet. To that, we're going to add 800 grams of plain flour, a good pinch of salt, 3 lovely eggs, and then find that fat and just use your thumbs to mix it in.
A splash of water, and the whole thing should start to come together.
It's going to look a bit rough and ready. That's fine. You want to keep it short. If you keep kneading it, it won't be crumbly. Right? Can you see there's still chunks of suet in here? I'm going to wrap this up, and I'm going to let that cool down, and then we'll fill it.
And be patient, it's the weekend. Chilling it will stop your pastry shrinking during cooking and make it easier to roll.
Let's make this pie. I want to go about ½ centimetre thick, then roll it back up. Olive oil into a dish, get right up the sides. We get our filling. What's nice about it chilling again is the gravy kind of solidifies. So you want to just chivvy in this edge, this rim, like that. Just tuck it under like this. What I want to do is put my thumb in here and pinch around it. You know, you can get all kinds of cutters, you can get leaves, you can do plaits, you can do shapes, all sorts. But to be honest, at the weekend, I've put enough love into it. Just use 2 fingers and a thumb and you'd be amazed what you can achieve. And a beautiful roasted meat pie has been born. Happy days. Just egg wash the centre part. And I do want to just create a little star to relieve the steam, and look at that. It's going to be amazing.
After an hour in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit, your wonderful weekend feast will emerge.
Look, you can see how crispy that pastry is going to be. Wow. Oh, guys, look at that, look at the flake. Look at the thickness of that pastry there. You know that people are going to fight for that. There's never enough pastry, is there? But we got it bottom, side and top, and a big old handle, a love handle, which you'll definitely get if you keep eating too much pie. But for this weekend, only yes.